Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We from Group 8 will present the topic about alternative in assessment. I'm the first member that get the first subtopic about the dilemma of maximizing both practically and worship. The principal purpose of this capture is to examine some of the alternatives in assessment that are markedly different from formal tests. Tests, especially large-scale standardized tests, tend to be one-shot performance at a time. Multiple choice that contextualize non-reference then foster extrinsic motivations. On the other hand, texts like portfolios, journal, and self-assessment are included. One way looking at this contrast poses a challenge to you as a teacher and test designer. Former standardized tests are almost by definition highly practical, reliable instruments. They are designed to minimize time and money on the part of test designer and test taker, and to be painstakingly accurate. They are scoring alternatives such as portfolio or conferencing with students on draft of writing work on the part of the teacher and the students. Next is this relationship can be depicted in a hypothetical graph that shows practically or relatability on one axis and washback or authenticity in the other data, as shown in figure 10.1. This figure appears to imply the inevitability of the relationship. Large-scale multiple-choice tests cannot offer much washback or authenticity, nor can portfolios and such as alternatives achieve much practically or relatability. A number of approaches and accomplishing this end are: first, building as much authenticity as possible. It will get the multiple choice mark, test type and items. Second is design classroom tests. It will make the classroom that have both objective scoring sections and open-ended responsion sections, varying the performance tests. Third is turning multiple choice tests. We will get the result and into diagnostic feedback on areas of needed improvement. Last is maximizing the preparations. Before a test to elicit a performance relevant to be the ultimate criteria of the test. We just remember Brown and Hudson admission to scrutinize the practical relatability and validity of those alternatives at the same time that we celebrate their validity, pushback potential, and authenticity. Then the flip side of this challenge is to understand that the alternatives in assessment are not doomed to be impractical and unreliable. As we look at alternative in assessment in this capture, it so make the reader will gain more knowledge after read this capture. This is my explanation about the um, the dilemma of the maximizing both practically and worship.
Portfolio is purposeful collection of student work that demonstrates student effort, progress, and achievement in given areas. Portfolio includes materials such as essay and composition in draft at final form, report and project outlines, audio or video recording of presentation, demonstration, and journal diaries and other personal reflection, test score, and written homework exercise. And the last is self and peer assessment, comment evaluation, and checklist. Attributes of portfolio. Good Life suggests a developmental scheme for considering the nature and purpose of portfolio using the acronym CRADLE to designate six possible. Number one is collecting. Collecting is an expression of student life and identities. And reflecting in thinking about experience and activities. Assessing is evaluating quality and development over time. And documenting, demonstrating student achievement. Linking is connecting student and teacher, parents, community, and peers. And the last is evaluating, generating responsible outcomes. Step and guidelines portfolio. Step 1 is state objectives clearly and give guidelines on what material to include. Communicate assessment criteria to students. Design time within the curriculum for portfolio development. Establish periodic schedule for review and conferencing. Design on accessible place to keep portfolio. And the last is provide positive feedback when giving final assessment. And the next material is journal. Journal is a log of one's thought, feeling, reaction, assessment, ideas or progress, and towards goal. Usually written with little attention to structure, form, and correction. Journal very important pedagogical purpose is individualization and communication with teacher and using writing as a thinking process. And step for journals. Number 1 is sensitively introduce students to the concept of journal writing. State the objective of the journal: language learning log, grammar journal, response for reading, strategies-based learning logs, and assessment reflection. Number 3 is give guidelines of what kinds of topic to include. Careful specify the Number 4 is careful specify for the criteria for assessing for grading journal and provide optimal feedback in your response, cheerleading feedback, instructional feedback, or really check feedback. And number 6 is design appropriate time frames and schedule for review. And the last is provide formative feedback giving final assessment.
And here I will explain about other alternative assessment, that is conference and interview. According to the Ganesi and Abshir, the conference is by nature affirmative, unsummative, and their primary goal is to offer positive feedback. And conference have been a routine part of language classes, especially course in writing. Reference made to conference as a standard part of the process of teaching approach to writing. When teacher in a conversation about the draft facilitate the improvement of writing words. Such interaction have the advantage of one-on-one interaction between teacher and student, and teacher can direct feedback to the specific need of student. And the conference was not confined to the draft paper, including the portfolio and journal. The list of possible function and subject matter for the conference is substantial. For example, in page 265, the conference should assume that teaching plays the role of a facilitator and guiding, not an administrator from a formal judgment. And in this intrinsic motivation, a motivated student needs to understand that teachers are allies that encourage self-reflection and improvement, so that student will be as honest as possible in assessing themselves. And teachers should not consider a conference as something to be judged on. And interview. An alternative discussion in judgment is interview. The term is intended to demonstrate a context in which a teacher interviews a student for the purpose of design judgment. We're not talking about a student doing interview with others to gather information. An interview might have one or more of several possible objectives where the teacher. And in page 265. An interview question should be carefully crafted to get a focused response. When interview for oral production assessment, for example, a very special set of props is required to achieve predetermined goals. Example interview question is in page 266, and require an overall assessment within a number of categories. For example, vocabulary usage, grammatical and correctness, and fluency. And for example, specific quantities of occurrence may be difficult to record while teaching a lesson and managing a classroom, but immediate subsequent of evaluation can include some data on observation that would otherwise fade from memory in day or so. And some observation for research purpose may always back, whatever if the research simply disappear with the information and never communicates anything back to the student. And how the conference and interview score in terms of principle of assessment. And in the case of conference, it may not be important to have rather reliability because the whole purpose is to avoid individualized attention, which will vary greatly from student to student. And for interview, a relatively high level of reliability should be maintained with careful attention to objective and procedure. Face validity for both can be maintained at a high level due to their individualistic nature. And next, I will explain about observation. The study of systematic observation score from students has been intensifying, and its utilization greatly enhances intuitive impression of the teacher by offering real correlation conclusion. Sometimes intuitive informative is not confirmed by observation data, and we are talking about observation as a systematic planned procedure for real time, almost secretly recording student verbal and non-verbal behavior. And one of the purpose of such observation is to assess students without their awareness and possibly consequent anxiety from observation so that the loudness of their linguistic performance is maximized. And potential observation for in page 267. Uh, di sana bisa dibaca itu di halaman 267 ada potential observation coaching. And this list can be more specific to student characteristics, lesson focus or modus, curriculum objective, and other factors. And the list might expand also to include other observable performance possibilities. In order to carry out a class observation, it is certainly important to take the following step in page 268. And Their very purpose is more note-taking than record keeping. The key is to devise a system that maintains the principle of reliability as closely as possible. Checklists are a viable alternative for recording observation results, and some checklists of student classroom performance such as a cold observation schema devised by Spanda and Florich are elaborate grids, referring to such variable as in page 268 and with subcategories for each variable. The observer identifies an activity or episode as well as the starting time for each and checks appropriate box along the grid. In completing such a form in real time might present some difficulty with so many factor to attend to at once. And checklist can also be quite simple, which is a bit better option for focusing on only a few factors within real time. And rating skill being suggests for recording observation, one type of rating skill asks teacher to indicate the frequency of occurrence of target performs on separate frequency scale. Uh,
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Benalis Pikardedu. My student number is 233 and I will continue explanation about self and peer assessment. Wait. Self and peer assessment. Self-assessment itself derives its theoretical justification from a number of well-established principles of second language acquisition. Kemampuan untuk jadi self assessment ini kemampuan untuk bisa memutuskan sendiri baik di dalam maupun di luar kelas. Dan dijelaskan di buku bahwa independently monitor that pursuit are all keys to success. Dan mengembangkan motivasi yang ada dalam diri kita sendiri termasuk dalam self assessment. Developing intrinsic motivation that comes from self-proper desire to excel is at the top of the list of successful acquisition of any set of skills. And peer assessment appeals to similar principle, the most obvious of which is cooperative learning. Jadi masih banyak orang yang telah belajar dari kindergarten sampai sarjana, but they never come to appreciate the value of collaborating learning. So, the benefit of peer assessment of learners capable of teaching each other something. And peer assessment is simply one arm of a plethora of texts and procedures within the domain of learner-centered and collaborative education. Types of self and peer assessment. In this book, there is a classification of strategies option to create 5 categories of self and peer assessment. Number 1, assessment of a specific performance. This is a student typically monitor him or herself in either oral or written production and reader some kind of evaluation of performance. So, the assessment of specific performance is evaluasi diri yang terjadi di mana ketika kita sedang melakukan performance, dan evaluasi itu terjadi ketika bisa terjadi ketika kita sedang performance lalu kita melakukan kesalahan dan kita langsung mengevaluasinya, ataupun bisa dievaluasi setelah kita selesai perform gitu. Yang kedua, indirect assessment of general competence. Indirect self or peer assessment target large slice of time with a view to rendering an evaluation of general ability as opposite to one specific relatively time constraint performance. Jadi di sini perbedaan direct and indirect sendiri pada competence performance. Pada competence performance, yang terjadi, jadi perbedaan direct and indirect sendiri terjadi pada competence performance. Nah, assessment of component might encompass a lesson over several days, a module, or even a whole term of coursework and the general ability. For the example, you can take a look page number 272. Number 3, metacognitive assessment for setting goals. Some kind of evaluation are more strategic in nature with the purpose not just of viewing past performance or competence. So, di sini memiliki keuntungan. So, di sini personal goal setting tuh memiliki keuntungan dalam memotivasi intrinsik dalam diri dan memberikan siswa karena memberikan dorongan kepada siswa karena telah memilih atau memutuskan tujuannya sendiri. Strategic planning and self-monitoring can take the form of journal entries, choose from a list of possibility, questionnaire, or cooperative oral care or group planning. For the example, you can take a look page number 273, and I will back to number 2, indirect assessment of general competence. There's indirect self, and peer assessment is not confined to score, rating, sheet, and questionnaire. And number 4 is associative assessment. Another type of self and peer assessment comes in the form of the method of examining affective factor in learning. Such assessment have quite different from looking at and planning linguistic. Looking at is bisa dilihat dari psychological kita sendiri. Bisa dilihat dari psychologicalnya. And then when learner resolve to assess and improve motivation to gauge and lower their own anxiety to find mental or emotional obstacle to learning and then plan to overcome those barriers and all important socio-affective domain in invoked. And for the example, you can take a look page 275. And then the last one is student generated test, a final type of assessment that is not usually classified strictly as self or peer assessment in the technique of examining students in the process of constructing tests themselves. In this kategori, dari pandangan tradisional, test would never allow students to engage in the test construction, but student-generated tests can be productive, increasingly motivating, and autonomy building process. Dan banyak sekali pendapat ada beberapa pendapat di dalam buku, kalian bisa baca di halaman 276 tentang student can write. And many educators agree that one of the primary purposes in administering tests is to stimulate review and integration, which is exactly what student generated testing does, but almost without awareness on the student part that they are reviewing the material. Maybe that's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, this is the last session, the last part of the presentation, and let's continue. So the part is guidelines for self and peer assessment. So self and peer assessment are among the best possible formative types of assessment and possibly the most rewarding, but they must be carefully designed and administered for them to reach their potential. There are 4 guidelines to help teachers bring the intrinsically motivating tests into the classroom successfully. First, tell the student the purpose of the assessment. Carefully analyze the needs that will be met in offering both self and peer assessment and convey this information to students. So, menganalisis dengan cermat kebutuhan yang akan dipenuhi dalam menawarkan penilaian diri dan teman sebaya dan menyampaikan informasi ini kepada siswa. Seperti itu. And the second is define the task clearly. Make sure the students know exactly what they are supposed to do. So you need to clearly state the define atau jelaslah dalam menyampaikan apa yang akan kita lakukan, ya seperti itu. Apa yang akan kita lakukan terhadap tes ini. Encourage impartial evaluation of performance or ability. One of the greatest drawbacks to self-assessment is the threat of subjectivity. Jadi maksudnya adalah kekurangan yang paling besar dalam self-assessment itu subjectivity-nya. Karena ketika subjek tidak jelas, kita tidak tahu akan mengarahkan kemana performance atau ability yang akan kita kerahkan atau arahkan kepada siswa. Jadi clear assessment criteria can go a long way toward encourage objectivity. Jadi maksudnya adalah kriteria yang jelas akan memberikan subjektivitas yang jelas juga. And the fourth is ensure beneficial was back through follow-up test. This is mean that we cannot just you already see my friend explanation about the example of self and peer assessment. So we can just self checklist and walk away. So we need more follow-up tests like self-analysis, journal reflection, written feedback from the teacher, conferencing with the teacher, proposal goal setting by the students, or any combination of the above. Jadi jangan hanya checklist saja ke teman terus pergi gitu. And then taxonomy of self and peer assessment test. Jadi ada beberapa contoh tentang self and peer assessment. Kalau kalian there is stated in page 277 and 278, like there are listening test, speaking test, reading test, and writing test. So I just give one example, but you can read it yourself, and I will put it in the presentation. There are listening tests, listening to TV or radio. It is the example of self and peer assessment. So we can make students appear with friends and listening to TV, so they can just checklist their self and their friends about their ability or performance speaking test. Jadi contohnya yaitu detecting pronunciation or grammar errors on a self recording. So this can be a self-assessment and peer assessment. So they can just checklist their self what is wrong from their grammar errors. And then reading test, reading passage with self-check comprehension question following reading and checking comprehension with a partner, taking vocabulary quizzes. That's the example, one of the example. And then writing test, revising written work on your own. Yeah, writing. And also there is some point of peer and self-assessment about the principle that connect to principle of assessment. So you can see in the table 10.1 that is practically can reach moderate level, reliability risk remaining at a low level, face validity can be raised if students accept the notion that this can be high, face validity moderate, moderate. And then content validity will maintain high when adherence to course objective. Jadi maksudnya ketika itu sejalan dengan tujuan dari kursus mata pelajaran tersebut atau material course. And then authenticity and washback both have a very high potential because students are centering on their own linguistic needs and are receiving useful feedbacks. I think that's all from us. If you have any question, please drop your question on the Padlet. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.